So it's the 17th of December 2022, and I'm going to lift, and in fact I've already started to lift the garlic out of this bed today. It's coming up really quite easy. I can really just shift the soil with my hand and see the bulb and lift it. And as I expected, the bulbs are much bigger. They're kind of definitely a handful, but yeah, the soil's very good, still very moist, and I can kind of just like that and reach into it and grab a bulb. So there were smaller bulbs down the middle, which I think I found them left over, or might have got them late season or something. And then the larger replanted bulbs on either side. This is definitely a big one. So here's the result. I'm pretty happy with this actually. More has come out of this bed than I expected. We've got about a dozen of these really, I mean, that's bigger than my hand kind of thing. Probably the case that I've left this a bit long. You can see the cloves starting to separate, and yeah, I don't know if they're really supposed to do that. And they're kind of too big anyway, really, to be useful. That's a lot of garlic for a particular meal, I suppose. So there's about, I think there's 11 of those. My favourite ones, I think, are these ones, which is a much better size and very well developed cloves. And then there's just these smaller ones. I have a feeling that perhaps I found some cloves late in the season, and I might have just put them down the middle of the bed, which explains maybe why they haven't grown as much. But in any event, there's sort of 30 bulbs there, and that's there's still a few more to take out in the other bed, and this is in addition to what we've got in the shed, of which there's quite a lot. And the soil here this has worked well. So this was just lots of manures and lots of compost that I built up over a couple of weeks, and already you can see in here some pumpkin seedlings. I literally just direct planted some seeds that I dried from a supermarket Jap pumpkin a few weeks ago, and I might just let those grow in here over the summer and to autumn. See if we can get some pumpkin. So yeah, that's very good. Talking of growing things, don't drink this water, lambs. These lambs are really putting on some size now. No, you've got better water. You can drink better water. No, don't drink this stuff. No, come on, don't drink this stuff. No, go away. I don't know why they want to drink this dirty old bath water, but they seem to just go for it. So I suppose one thing that's worth noting, just for the record and just for anyone who might be interested, this orchard, I'm going to say orchard, this fenced off area into which we've put fruit trees and other sort of garden beds and other plantings, is really at the edge of a eucalypt woodland, which is not mature, but it has matured a lot over the last few years. And I suppose some people did certainly say that planting non-eucalypt trees here wouldn't work because one, they wouldn't get enough direct sunlight, and two, the eucalypts would just take too much nutrient and water. And look, that may be still what will ultimately happen, I don't know. But we're now 5 years in, and I have to say things are going pretty well in this space. I mean, this was the first tree that we ever planted here. This is a weeping cherry, so a sort of ornamental cherry. I think it's Prunus snozzifam, and I mean it's doing fine. It's great. The fruit trees have put on tremendous growth, including this rather large plum. Hasn't fruited so much this year, nor has this one. In fact, I don't think that's fruited at all. It seems to me that they maybe sort of go every other year in terms of heavy fruit. And this year the apples. So this is the first year that this has produced any decent fruit that I haven't removed. So this is a Cox's orange pippin, I think. More here, this is a Jonathan apple. Now, shortly, birds are going to come in and take all of this fruit. That's okay. I'm all right with that. If we were here all the time, I would net this to protect the fruit, but I don't want to do that when I'm not here all the time in case birds get stuck in it, as they inevitably will. Elderberry down here. Tea tree. Another one over there. The bascum, which is just coming into flower now. Some lambs-ear. The forsythia there. You can actually see some citrus that I put down there just in case it should happen to seed and take. This is various little sort of cottage garden type plants I've put into this bed. Some more garlic here. This would be the very first year's garlic, very first year I planted it, and I really shouldn't have put it in this bed. But it's fine, I'll just treat it as ornamental now and let it go to, let it flower and let the bees and other insects enjoy it. Yes, nectarine. Some more apple down here, I think. Granny Smith. Yes, I guess what I'm saying is so far the eucalypts have not obviously retarded the growth of things in here to any great extent. It seems to be coming on and growing pretty well, and it would be better, much better if we were here managing it more regularly, with more regular watering. We could grow more stuff and tend to more stuff. And I can see already that probably there's probably too many fruit trees in here at the moment, so I think the stone fruit trees, the nectarine and the peach, will get moved in the coming autumn. Then we might just be left here with, and maybe even an apple like this one here, the Granny Smith. This corner tends to be a bit dry, so perhaps I'll move that down the front. So this is the last of the garlic that I'll take out. I left this here a few weeks ago because as I was lifting the bulbs, they appeared to me to be a bit small. So we'll see if there's any size difference. I think there might be marginally larger, but actually I don't think they are at all. So I think it's just the variety. They're definitely quite purple, these ones, and they're very pungent. And I think the cloves have started to split, and I think that's probably an indication that they've been left a little bit too long. So anyway, it's another 5 bulbs there. The soil's pretty good. It's still got quite a bit of moisture in it. So it's on days like this, when I lift the garlic and see the apples and the pears growing, and the lambs about the place, that my mind returns to that idea of the extent to which this little place could provide for us. And it's if your expectations are reasonable, it's pretty easy to see how not complete self-sufficiency would be possible, but something pretty close to it. If I can grow potatoes here and garlic, and be having 1 or 2 or 3 sort of lambs a year, form of poultry, and the eggs that I can get there from, you start to see how you really could, food-wise, start to provide for yourself. But then also the fruit that we could potentially harvest here and then store and deal with throughout the year. So the apples and the plums, the pears, the cherries, would be very useful as well. And I say you're not really being completely self-sufficient, because there's certain things that we can't produce here, like we can't, pulses and grains probably are pretty much out. So we can't do the rices and the flours, and the teas and the coffees and the a lot of staples like that we probably can't do. But with things like potato and garlic, and a bit of meat and some eggs, and maybe even some dairy. I mean, dairy's not beyond possibility either, once you've got those sort of those ruminant animals, sheep, goats, and then potentially way down the track a little house cow if you wanted to sort of look at beef or whatever. You can start to see how you could eat really, really well. I think it's good from a sustainability point of view, in terms of making sure that land is productive, that it is able to sustain at least Mark and I. You really, I think, sensibly have to ask the question, well, how many people could this land support? I mean, just today, you look at the amount of garlic that I pulled up. So I pulled up 30 good bulbs today, and there's probably, I don't know, another 60 in the shed. So we're sort of, and that's still not anywhere near maximum production. That's just what we sort of do on a play around basis. So I think this property is capable of supporting more than 2 people, and potentially accommodating more than 2 people. And I think as time goes on, we're going to have to start thinking about the equity issues around, and being more open to sharing space like this, which speaking for myself, I'm really interested in looking into ways as to how to feasibly do that. So this is all definitely heading in the right direction. So with that with that garlic bed, I've actually just taken some of the compost pile, in which there was some pretty good material, but probably not as composted down as it ideally would be. But in any event, it had lots of worms and sort of bugs and whatever else in it, and whatever the sort of material was, it looked pretty dead, so it should be fine. And then I've just taken a bit of sheep manure and some of the sheep pen materials and kind of used it to bed over the turned soil. And so there's the 3 pumpkin seedlings in there, and yeah, we'll just see if we can get some pumpkins from it over the summer. If not, I'm not really bothered by it. It can kind of just sit and rest over summer, and then come autumn we'll top it up again and do more garlic.